thank everyone in the community for all the support we've seen. We've felt so helpless, and seeing everybody out here really looking and helping out really means a lot.
So, tell us what happened the night the kids went missing.
Okay.
From our yard.
Okay. It was cold. I was gonna make a fire. There's a lot of wood in this area right here next to our house. I opened up the back gate. I'm throwing wood, bringing it inside the house. My wife's inside. She was actually wrapping gifts, so we thought it was a good idea that our youngest two would go outside and play with chalk on the back patio. Do not let them go on the dirt in the backyard. We keep them close. So I was playing with chalk, and I came in the house. I saw them there. I went in the house. I came back out. I didn't see them there. I immediately went back in, asked my wife, did you see the boys? She said, no, they should be outside playing with chalk. I said, well, I didn't see them, so I came back outside and I started searching my backyard. I searched the whole thing. I realized that I left the gate open, and I panicked, came inside the house, searched the house, me and my wife. Once that didn't pan out, I got in the van. I looked down the street, both directions. It was getting dark, getting cold, and I got in the van and I hit a bunch of corners. I went down this street. I turned my light on. I searched. I called their names. Talked to a gentleman on the street on the other side over there. He didn't see anyone. So then I came home and I told my wife we need to call the cops. It's getting dark and I need help. We gotta get going. So I called the cops. Cops came. First thing they did was tell us to stay in the house so they can get a hold of us. And they had us just sitting there, and we wanted to keep searching. But everybody came out in droves, and I wanted to thank you guys that night, but we couldn't go outside.
The cops told us the best are out here.
The best are out here searching, and we appreciate it, and nobody ever we could never talk to anybody, and that was the issue.
We just want to thank everybody.
We really want to thank you guys.
Please, if anybody has seen them, please call, let somebody know.
Call the cops. Call the city police department. Call them and let them know what you've seen, if you see anything. Our boys, they are going to be rambunctious, okay? They are going to be here in this area. And I really would like to go in the houses, but it's not because I want to invade people's privacy. I just want to know if make sure. That's it. Because I don't. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. If you got any questions.
Oh no, you're good.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna say, this is the first time we're hearing from you guys, and I can't imagine what you guys are going through. I can't even fathom it. For you guys, for people who are thinking that there's some kind of foul play involved. We just spoke to the biological mother. She says she had a conversation with you guys, and that she thinks there's some kind of foul play involved. That she thinks you guys did something.
And that's understandable.
What's your response to that?
That's understandable. I would think the same thing.
Yep.
I mean, that's exactly the point. And if we can find our babies, then guess what? That's no. And that's all I want is to find.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Crime Journal. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get into the case.
About this situation, for them, even speaking about what you guys are feeling is difficult. What do you want them at home to understand about this whole situation?
We're going through it. It's difficult. I mean, everybody's making their own their own conclusions. They don't know anything. We're not sure everything. We're not sure. We said what we knew, and if anybody has seen them or anything, please call the police department.
Would you be willing to provide pictures, or do you have any?
I have older pictures. All my newest were on my phone.
Okay.
A lot of people are speaking of this as, after the math, past tense. I want to talk about your kids in present tense. What kind of boys are these? Tell us about the boys.
Very playful, very rambunctious, and they do love to wrestle. They do love to kind of get rough with each
They're
other.
kids.
They're kids. Of course, they would love to go out, but so during the pandemic, we wasn't trying to go, out here, and so we stayed inside.
Yes.
Yes, we did. We searched before we called the cops. That's what we've
Yeah.
been saying.
What time did they come up missing?
They came missing right before it got dark. And then we called. I searched the property. I even drove around this neighborhood right here. I even talked to a gentleman on that side, one of those streets over there. I said, "Did you see some little black kids?"
You go that way looking for them?
That's the way I was gonna come. But when I came back home, I decided to call the cops because it was dark. They couldn't have got away that fast.
And why did it take two people to go in the house and leave two kids out here by themselves? It should have been one parent going in and one parent right here watching the child, not two parents going in the house and leaving two little kids out here by themselves for 10 minutes.
No, they were in the backyard, and the
So
back
how
gate
did they
was
get
open.
out the backyard?
And the back gate was open, and I was getting wood
So
from
you
this
guys
lot
was
here.
being irresponsible and left the gate open, left some little kids outside with the gate open.
All right. Sorry, you guys were talking about your boys who you're, I understand. For a mother, a mother's intuition, I know you were saying, and we'll get your names after this, but you were saying how you feel like they're in this area. Do you feel the same way? And what is the intuition? What is the sense you get? What do you think happened to your boys? Do you think someone took them? Do you think they're lost? Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely know they're not walking around. They're not that kind. They do not just roam around. These patches. They definitely, I think definitely would have been picked up or something.
That was my assumption.
Have they ever taken off every yard
Nope.
before?
No,
Nope.
They've never taken off?
no.
On December 21st, 2020, in Bakersfield, California, two toddlers, Orrin and Orson West, also known as Sincere and Classic Petus, would be playing in the front yard of their home at 10717 Aspen Ave. The children were adopted by Trezell and Jacqueline West in 2018. They have two other adoptive children and two biological children. Jacqueline would be inside the home wrapping Christmas presents, and Trezell would be outside with the boys collecting firewood. Trezell would realize that he left the gate open and he did not spot the children anymore. He would run inside to see if they were in there, and when he realized they were not in there, he started to panic and would tell Jacqueline. He got in his van and drove up and down the street until the sun began to set, and it got very cold outside. He went back to the house, and Jacqueline called the police to report the children missing. Police arrived on the scene with canine dogs to try and trace the children's scent. They would only pick up the scent of the children inside the home and not outside. No neighbor could ever recall seeing the boys playing outside. Jacqueline and Trezell would be filmed in front of their house pleading for help finding the missing boys. The other children who have not been identified due to their ages were removed from the house and placed with Child Protective Services while the case is under investigation. The California City Police Chief told the media that foul play was suspected, but no evidence has been collected yet. There would be a $25,000 reward placed for anyone with information leading police to Orrin or Orson. Jacqueline would state that she took the children to Trezell's mother's house, but on a neighbor's surveillance camera it would appear that they only put 4 children in the car before pulling out of the driveway. The Bakersfield Police Department would obtain a search warrant for Orrin and Orson West's adoptive grandmother's home. It was not clear if they found any evidence. A week after the boys went missing, another child living in the home at the time of the boys' disappearance said he witnessed one of the boys die, and the other would go missing after hearing a loud noise the night before. The search for the boys would continue. It would be 4 months, and detectives of the Bakersfield Police Department would not have any signs of where the boys were. New information would be released stating 83 people have been interviewed and 170 items have been collected as evidence. Almost a year after the boys' disappearance, the community would hold a toy drive in the driveway of the home where they were last known to be. March 1st, 2021, around 7 p.m., Jacqueline and Trezell would be arrested and charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, child cruelty, and falsifying a 911 call after Bakersfield Police Department presumed the children deceased. Although the bodies of the children have not been found, the district attorney says there was enough direct and circumstantial evidence to convince the grand jury that the boys had been murdered. She also states that the boys were murdered 3 months prior to being reported missing. In court, Jacqueline and Trezell would plead not guilty. On March 8, 2022, a Kern County judge placed a gag order in the case of the murder of the children. The order bars anyone involved in the case not to speak publicly about the case. The question in the trial now is, where are the bodies? Josiah West, a brother of Trezell, would testify in court that he would often babysit the West's children, but it has been a while since he has seen them. A body camera footage would also be shown in court by the Bakersfield Police Department. It showed that Jacqueline's story did not match up with physical evidence. The trial is expected to last until late June of 2023. If convicted, Jacqueline and Trezell will face life sentences in the murders of Orrin and Orson West. If anyone has any information on the case or has any tips on the whereabouts of the boys, the Bakersfield Police Department urges you to call 661-327-7111.